One of the areas that we've addressed is eliminating mistakes during the design process. And I did a very poor job of that when we designed the test names in the LIS. Now this is now many, many years ago, but as a laboratorian, I didn't have to order tests. So I was never thinking about lookalikes and soundalikes from the test ordering standpoint. So we named tests just like good laboratorians would do with their usual names. And as soon as we turned on the system, and to this day we still find errors, we started seeing orders for tests that we hadn't seen before. The biggest one was creatine and creatinine. And creatine comes before the alphabet before creatinine, and we started seeing the house staff ordering creatine. Even though creatinine was right underneath, they still ordered creatine. And so we had to actually just take creatine out of the system. We still to this day see factor V activity levels ordered instead of factor V Leiden for coagulopathy. And so every time we see a factor V level, we try to ascertain, is that really what somebody wants, or were they working the patient for thrombophilia? Some of those we've handled by order sets. Others we've started to hide the orders. And it's very difficult to hide tests, because if you hide them in order sets, we find that there's promiscuity amongst the use of order sets. And some people will start to like a good order set, they rotate to another service, but they use an order set meant for the service they were on. And that test group doesn't apply to the new service. So it's a tough area, and it can lead to ordering a wrong test. The other area in the laboratory that we work fairly hard on is lookalike and soundalike names, and it particularly occurs amongst SIBs and specifically amongst twins. And those of you who have twins whose names are the same, my suggestion is go to court and change them right now, because it'll save you trouble in the long run. Not only do they look, they look the same, do they really have to have a name that looks the same? I'm asking you that. So that's a problem. And we have a board in our core laboratory where we put up lookalike names, and we try our best to make sure we don't mix up those patients. We actually will start to interject other patient samples between those samples just to segregate them so that there's not the mix-up. But it's a really tough area for the laboratory all the way around. And yes, we want to use two identifiers, but sometimes when the names are the same, it really makes using two identifiers tough.